right, welcome everyone to another episode of Vinny Presents. Today we have one of my favorite type of people I have, which is someone from South Philly. And we don't always get this honor. Last time we had Monique, our dear mutual friend Monique in
Mhm.
Pagliazzo. But today we have a wonderful singer from the great city of South Philadelphia. Her name is Felicia Punzo. Felicia, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. We met and briefly, so it's really nice that we're going to be talking today. I'm very excited.
Absolutely. And it was great to meet you over at Renee's birthday bash, which will
Mhm.
be probably seeing each other again soon.
Yes,
um,
definitely.
so, Felicia, tell us how you got started. I know you were very young. I believe you were 4 years old when you first started to entertain, and you did some plays and theatrics, and then you developed into a singer.
Hmm.
I believe you at 11 you did the national anthem. Do I have that right at the Kicks
Yeah.
game?
Yes. Wow. We're going back. So I started doing Newman plays when I was 4 years old. Mr. Perry, he got me on that stage, and it was like no going back since. So I did plays and like musicals for like 18 years. In the mix of that, I started singing the national anthem. Actually, my first time ever singing the national anthem, like just locally, was my dad's baseball field, Southeast Youth Athletic Association on 7th and Bigler. My dad one day was like for like the Babe Ruth contest or whatever. They needed a national anthem. He's like, "Go ahead, sing it." I'm like, "Sing it." All right. Then I got the opportunity to sing it at the Philadelphia Kicks game, which they're no longer, but that was a really cool opportunity. After that, I started recording my own music at 13. I had, a couple labels that were interested, just didn't work out. I recorded original music from dance music, pop rock music, R&B. I recorded it all. Pop dance music, pop music, that's like my niche. That's what but my favorite thing ever to sing is ballads. People don't really know that about me because I wanted to do music that would make people dance and have fun. So a ballad's really going to make you cry. so I so that's like really how the music thing started. Like my dad and my mom were talking one day after my eighth grade talent show, and they're like, we should just bring her in the studio, like, let her see that it's hard work because she wants to sing, and if she realizes it's hard work, maybe she won't do it. So my mom's like, "Take her." So my dad decided to pick 4 songs. 1 was The Greatest Love of All, which I sung at my talent show, but then 3 I never sung before. And, like, they're all different songs. It was Crazy by Patsy Cline, Rihanna's, Umbrella, and then Big Girls Don't Cry from Fergie. And then The Greatest Love of All. Talk about, like, 4 really different songs, right? The other 3 I never sung. My dad just let me listen to the song, and he brought me in the studio that day, and it was in 2007, it was August 7th. So that's when this all started. So my dad was, like, shocked. He's like, "Wow, she did, like, really good." And I didn't have, like, training or anything, like and, we go home, and my mom's like, "How'd you like it?" And I'm like, "I loved it." And she's like, and then here we are. That's how it started for me, you
So
know?
you went through the initial torture. They realized you made it through, and
Mhm.
then you just kept going.
I just kept going. Musicals were definitely something that I wanted to pursue. Acting, I loved acting. I loved playing a different character. I would have loved to be on Broadway. But I feel like life brings you in a certain direction for a reason. And I'm happy this is the direction that it led me into because I wouldn't be here with like my family or you know what I mean? So, life takes you in a million different directions. And I'm just happy to still be in the city though with my family. Family's very important to me. Still doing things that I love to do, getting into like a little bit more TV work and just exploring my creativity because it's very important to be creative for me.
Yeah, I understand how that is. I mean, there's when you it's all about expression, whether it's singing, I like to write, some people like to act. I mean, there's a a need to want to express yourself, and some people really try to just do the 9 to 5 thing, but you just can't. When you have that in you, it's really hard to. I mean, you have to, because obviously you have a family and things,
Exactly.
as you said, turn you in a different direction. But it's always nice to continue to pursue it on the side and still
Yeah.
keep it
So,
going.
like, that happened to me. Um, I used to at one point, I used to do, like, anti-bullying campaigns with my song, "I'm Just a Kid," because I have, like, 43 songs out, but "I'm Just a Kid" was, like, a really relatable song, to a lot of children. So I started doing a campaign, I'm Just a Kid Foundation, where I would go to the different schools, talk to them about bullying, with Kenyatta Johnson, the councilman. And he really helped me out going to all these schools and touching these children. So um, we helped a lot of people. We really did. There was kids that would even see me on the street that would say like, "Thank you." It was really such a nice thing. But then I got to an age where like I had to pay for things, and I met my fiance and like, we had bills. So I started working at like Bragy Elementary School for like a half a day. And I loved working there. I really did. I loved being in the school setting with the kids and still helping them out, right? But also still doing my music and still doing the campaign because, like, right after work, I would go to a school in the afternoon. Then it came to a point where I did ask for a full time job there, and they just didn't have the openings for a full time job. So then I started working for the city in family court. Um, I had like a couple different jobs there. So I worked there for 5 years. So pretty much I was on not a hiatus, but like I took like some time off for myself. And it was a really a nice growing period for me. I got to meet some people who are very supportive of me, which I needed that like backbone of people, not only just family. My family is there for me for everything. But I needed like friends, I needed people that were behind me with anything that I do. Because seriously, I started doing a lot of different things ever since. Because I left once I had my son, and you feel like you're in a dark hole, a very like black hole. So then I yeah, I left family court and then I just started picking up where I left off, and I'm really happy I did that. So
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, but it's a labor of love. I know how it is. Also, I mean, sacrifice is really important. And but the good news is that you're doing the right thing. As far as family's always first. That's how we're raised.
yeah.
It's not just it's a cultural thing, not just a city thing. And so, but while you find time and they start getting a little bit older, and you start to see, okay, maybe I can get away with doing this on this weekend or whatever.
Mhm.
And if you have coverage, that's a beautiful thing. But
Yeah.
but your passion's important. You have to, as we said about expression. Now, we for those that, because I always like to kind of inspire people that are listening that may be on the fence. So, if you're a little boy or girl and they're listening to you, how would you recommend they get started if they feel like they're a little scared, but they will kind of want to explore singing?
Yeah, so music, acting, like, it took me out of my comfort zone. I was actually, believe it or not, a very, very shy kid in school. But when I was on stage, I was very, like, loud. Like, that energy brought me to a whole different level. So my advice is, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to anyone, because there's a lot of people out there that would tell you, like, don't do it. Do this instead. When you're creative, you have to do what's in your heart. Follow your heart. Don't hide your talents. Show the world your talents. They were given to you for a reason. If you try something and it doesn't work out, that's fine. It's all about just exploring you, and don't be afraid to do it because this is your life. And like I said, things may work out, things may not, something may stick, something may not. And guess what? It's a whole learning experience, and you have to have fun while you're doing it. That's the main thing. Once you stop having fun, you got to take a step back and revisit it after and see it was just a time in your life where you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, my advice to like a younger kid is, if you really love doing this, you need to explore it. You need to go and sing at that talent show. You need to go and practice even in your garage and see if, like, that gives you that, like, feeling. Have your parents take you to a studio. I'm sure there's places where you can go. I mean, I was grateful enough to have a few studios at the time around my area. So, even join the local play. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to have that little push that can see if this is really something that you would wanna do. You know the feeling once you start doing it.
Yeah, I know my oldest daughter, she'll be 11. She a couple years back, a little bit shy, little, wasn't really sure, but we all encouraged her to try out for Annie in the
Mhm.
musical at her school. And she got Annie. It was really cute, she had
I
the little
love
wig,
that.
and she did great.
Mhm.
So, and she surprised herself. So
Yeah. I did Annie twice, actually. At one, I was in 3rd grade. I was Molly, and then I was a freshman in high school, and I was Annie.
nice.
And that was the year that, like, people were like, "Wow, like, she could actually, like, do this." It was the year I was recording. It was a good year for me, like, my first start. The city really helped me out big time here, like, South Philly, the different festivals, and just the support that I had when I first started singing. It was nice, you know? So,
Yeah, there's a lot going on definitely in the city, and this is Philly's is a town known for great singers, great recording studios. There was Sigma years ago, and they,
yeah,
obviously
sing the sounds. Mhm.
they're no longer around. Gamble and Huff, the whole thing. So the city's always been a hub of great talented singers. I mean, there's a long list of great people. Now, getting started, like, how was that experience from local to starting to branch out and recording and moving on and higher in the business?
Yeah, so, I started, say like I said, I was just trying to find my sound when I was younger, and, the pop dance music started to stick for me. It was easy because not easy, but, my dad, he was a DJ for 35 years. My brothers were also in the DJ community, so, it was, nice that they would send my songs out to some of their friends and get some feedback from them, or even, just a remix or something like that. But, when I think about the time where it really took me to the next level, I started performing I performed in Jersey. It was called, Top Dog, I believe, and I performed a song there. But before that, I worked with really great people like Bonnie Sigler and, Cam Huff that wrote Mario, Baby Let Me Love You. So I worked with some really great people, but there wasn't like I wasn't getting to that next level. I mean, that year with Bonnie, I was on the consideration list for best R&B traditional song for the remake of The Temptations, Wish It Would Rain. That was a fantastic experience with him. He was a great from the city. But when I think about the time where it was like next level stuff, it was with uh I was founded by Giuseppe D. He's a producer from New York and Miami. And he just was like, I see a vision for you. From that point on, we started making music together, and I started performing. We did like a freestyle song, and we did my single "Sound My Heart Makes" that hit Billboard on the dance charts, number 35. It was nice. It was a great moment for me. That CD, "Turn It Up," also was on the consideration list for a Grammy for electronica dance. It was just really awesome. Uh, he really put me to that next step. And then after that, I took, like, a little break, like I said. I was still doing music. I was working with people in Italy. I wasn't performing as much. I mean, before my dad had me performing every weekend. Sorry if you hear my dog, he's barking. Um,
He's
every
singing.
weekend, yeah, he's singing. Him and my son singing nursery rhymes. So I what's it called? I would perform every weekend. Like my dad would have me performing at a festival during the day and then at night at like the casinos for freestyle concerts. So it was really cool to get like that different aspect. Um, then I took my break and then I came back and had those songs from Italy. I was still recording here and there. And I had to think like what do I want to do, right? So I started wanting to get into more TV work. I thought that that would be something that I would really enjoy. I had my son. I had to find some happiness for myself because if you're not happy, it shows as a mom. Like you need to have your own, especially when you're a creative person. So I ended up, auditioning for like shows. Monique and Pagliazzo helped me out with that. I was an extra in the M Night Shyamalan's show, Servant. And then, I'm doing this. I was the host of the Mummers Parade with Alicia Vittorelli for Channel 6. Um, I performed in the Thanksgiving Day Parade. I made my own Christmas song, which was fantastic this year. I got to do a lot of cool things with that, with Thanksgiving Day Parade tree lighting ceremony. It had a really fantastic response. It was something different and fun, and one of the best things that I've done in my career. So I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I'm just really happy with how life is going for me. And now I'm heading to DC for a press conference and their cherry blossom parade. So that's my next step while doing my podcasts and so I'm just trying to stay busy, but also being a mom is number one for me. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to have that time. And I'm sure you'll agree. When you do something and you're away from your child or your children,
yeah.
then you miss it. You're like, oh, you feel selfish in a way. But you have to have that balance. Otherwise, that repression of your of of your art or of what you want to do starts to come out in different ways. So, but tell us about your podcast. Let's give it a quick plug.
Yeah, so my podcast is the City Buzz. For the last 2 years, my husband kept telling me, "You have to do a podcast." Like he was looking at my old videos because on social media there's tons of old stuff, and I would just like sit in front of the camera like this and like talk to myself, and it would be posted. And he was like, "You're like, if you could talk to yourself, you could talk to anyone. Listen, I could talk to a fly on the wall. Like I could talk. It's a gift and a curse, I guess." And yeah, so after like a couple more people started coming up to me saying like you need to do a podcast, like you know a lot of people, like I we I said to my husband I want to do this. I think it is time. It was like a year after, like my son's going to be 2, I'm in a good headspace. I was like, you know what, let's try it out. So yeah, we decided to do the City Buzz. My brother Philip, and DJ Quigs, his name's Chris Quigley. My brother's DJ Punzo. Like they been filming me, and my brother's editing it all. And thank God for my husband; he paid for all the equipment. But it was just a good opportunity to get people from the city their voices heard, whether that be a business person, just someone that wants to come on and chat, just about life. And it's not just this city. Like, I'm not planning on just doing the city as in Philadelphia. Right now, that's where I'm starting. But I'm also thinking about doing like a different like summer set, like a summer episode where I go to different shore points, and it's just really great. I've interviewed a couple people I went to high school with, um, interviewing people I've never met, or it's just really a cool experience to like have, you know, people show either their talents or just have their voices heard, just like what you're doing. It's a good outlet for people to, you know, have their voices just be heard.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the reason why I started doing this show probably about, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago, because I felt like I just enjoy hearing stories and I like connecting with people, and so like I do people that are in entertainment, whether it's film, music, or even just a social media personality. But what I like is that you're able to connect with a lot of different people. It's a form of networking, and but also you're able to shine a light on people that I think there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of great things and talents that may not get to be on a show all the time. So it's great to just do that. And there's some people that are a little bit more famous, but it's just that interaction. And you'll probably agree with this, but I think now more than ever, the ability to do something on your own, not just as in the form of a podcast, but also as a singer, you probably have a lot more power and a lot more the ability, technology to do things and put it out there to a massive audience more now than ever.
Yes, I agree. When I first started recording music, the whole YouTube thing and social media wasn't as huge. Like so like YouTube was, but like Instagram wasn't even around. I think the first time I recorded music, it was in MySpace. MySpace was around.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, it was MySpace. MySpace music. That was like my only form of like promoting myself and then just word of mouth. My dad would have me go into events and like I was like a walking billboard. Like he had me giving out stuff. And I think my dad's the reason why I talk to everyone because he had me walking around the room giving out stuff, like really hustling. And it's just so much, it's crazy now. Like everything's on social media. Like you don't even have to walk out of your house anymore. Like you could just be playing a guitar and have like millions of people watch you and not talk to anyone. And me, I enjoy the conversation. I do. Like I enjoy this, like talking to someone. And the new generation really lacks that, I think, because they're behind their phones all the time. Don't get me wrong, I'm on my phone all the time, but like this is what I like doing. I'd rather talk to you. Like my nephew's 15 years old. Getting a conversation out of him is the hardest thing in the entire world. Like talk about like when I was 15, like I said, I was talking to Tom, Dick, and Harry, where he won't even like look at me. Like, get your head out of the phone. What are you doing? Like, Dragon, how was school? Good. I'm like, are you kidding? Give me a little bit more. You going to prom? You doing nothing. I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it.
That's the bad
So
side of technology. It's making some of us antisocial. But I'll tell you
yeah,
what, the one thing that has nothing to do with anything is I don't even go to grocery store anymore. I just order everything and get it delivered. I don't even
I
want to go
mean,
out to the
nuts, right? That's so crazy. Like my brother and his wife do that, but they have 4 kids. So guess what? I'm like, you know what? You got to do it because if not, your bill might be 200 now. It's going to be an extra 100 when the kids start putting things in the cart. So no,
Yep.
I understand why they do it. Me, I do go to the store because, say my son's taking a nap, my mom's home or my husband's home from work. Um, that's my like hour of just peace. Even though it's not peaceful, to me it is. Like I'm like, oh, I'm in a store. Let's go to Target. Even if I don't buy anything, I'm walking in the store, drinking like a hot chocolate, and then like I might pick up like 1 or 2 things. But
Or 10, maybe 10, maybe 10.
yeah, well, that's my
It's
thing.
like
But
it's
yeah,
my wife just disappears anymore. I don't even where I'm like I don't even know where she went. She doesn't answer her
at this
phone.
point, my husband, he don't even bother me. He's like, yeah, she just needs like time to herself. But like since I started doing the podcast and I'm back doing my music stuff, like this is also an outlet for me, you know. So I'm not spending a ton of money on like going to Target because ever since I started my podcast, I actually haven't been in Target much. So maybe we should have did this a long time ago. We would have saved a lot more money.
It's a healthy distraction.
Yeah, right.
So what's in the future? What are you going what's lined up for you? What are you doing in the next 6 months, year, 2 years?
Yeah, so my plan is I do want to come out with another song. Not sure what direction I want to go in. Some people are making a joke like you want to make another holiday song. Truthfully, I don't think that's the direction I want to go in. I um I want to keep promoting the one that I have. You know, it got some legs last season. I think that if we continue to promote it, it would be doing well. So we'll see. So
Tell
that's
everybody
number
what
one.
the name of it is, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, the Christmas song is called, oh my God, I'm like still getting over my cold. So like, I'm sorry if I sound like crazy. So this song is called It's Not Christmas Without You. And, well, streaming platforms, it's like a very fun, timeless song for all ages. Your grandma will like it. You would like it. Your kids will like it. Like that's the vibe. So yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going to be music wise. If I'm going to do like a pop song, we'll see. But I do want to record another song. Um, I'm gonna try to do maybe some auditions for on-screen stuff. Working on my podcast, still performing. I'm very bad with thinking of the future, I guess you can say, because I was promised so much when I was younger. And when you're promised so much, you have these high expectations and then it comes crashing down. So I'm the type of person that I kind of just put a couple things in the universe, and if it sticks, fantastic. If it doesn't, we just move on and we do something else. So they're like my goals. My goals, if it happens, fantastic. If not, there's always another year. That's kind of how I look at it now, because you're not up here and then if it doesn't happen, go all the way down to the ground. Like I'm either at 1,000 or zero. It's like I get high on life just by doing something like this. So we'll see where life takes me. Like I said, say my son's gonna keep growing. I'm very excited to see that. I mean, that's like the highlight of my life right there. Like he is a very smart boy, and it's uh it's nice to be able to still do something you love while raising a child. And I think that social media also does help with that though. I'm still able to have these conversations, have meetings with people without needing to leave my house. So we'll see. We'll see where it takes me.
Yeah, you definitely can get a lot done just by just by your computer or your phone. It's
Mhm.
that's the beauty of it. Now, yeah, and also I can agree with what you're saying as far as your measured goals. Maybe that's a good word to use because things change. As you get into your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, things your life changes, you change. But
Yeah.
I also see a lot of people. I lived in LA for a little while. There's a lot of times I think about it and I say, well, I miss it. I wish it was there. But then in reality, um, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm very, I love seeing my family. I love being with, we're family people.
Yes.
And the great thing about that is there's a lot of people that are very successful, that are famous, that have all these things, but maybe they don't have that family element. And if you ask me, I'd rather have a family than stardom.
It's so crazy that you said that because I had the opportunity at 16 to move to LA, and I chose not to because me and my grandpa, we were two peas in a pod. He was my best friend, and at 16, like me and he was 93 when he passed away. So I don't regret not going there because I was able to spend all that time with my grandpa. I mean, he had cancer for 13 years. I was with him every day. Every day, my grandpa would go to my soccer games, or he would come to every single performance, like even ones that were at clubs. Like I had my grandpa come to my club performances. Yeah, him and my dad we would hop in a car and we would go, and my uncle would tag along, and it was like this big family affair. And I don't regret it. I really don't. Yes, would I have liked to see where I would be if I moved to LA? I think that it could have went either way. For me, I think that I probably would have done well out there just because I could talk to anyone. I would go places and talk to anyone. Um, but I think I would feel very lonely out there. I mean, I'm so happy that I was able to, and at that time, my brother Frankie just had my nephew Dominic. Like I was like a very big source of, someone I was helping raise him. So I was only 16 years old, like raising my own kid. So it was like I couldn't leave. I could not leave. It was a big eye opener for me. I would cry a lot over it. And now that when I started growing up, I was like, you know what? I made the right decision. Family is my world. My brother Philip has 4 kids. I have a son. Like it's just you can't be family. And from being from South Philly, even your neighbors, your family. Like I have people that I'm like, yeah, they're my cousin. They're not really my cousin, but I've known them since I was birthed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, um, yeah, I don't regret not being out there, but I would have liked to see where my life would have taken me if I was out there. So,
We
yeah.
all got to follow that little voice, and God has a
Mhm.
way of just making sure He pushes you in the right direction as long as you're not too stubborn. Some people are a little stubborn, and unfortunately, they don't go in the right direction. But it sounds
No.
like to me you definitely made some really great choices, Felicia. And I know who you are because I've always seen your name pop up or pop in different performances. So you're definitely someone that a lot of people love. I love your music. I listen to it. I think
Thanks.
you're an excellent performer, and I look forward to seeing you soon at Renee's thing. How can
Yeah.
everybody find you, by the way? Tell us about, give us some websites, some links.
Yeah, so my website is feliciapunzo.com. You can find me on my Instagram page at Felicia Punzo, my Facebook page. All my music's on all streaming platforms, whether that be Spotify, Apple Music, all of them. Yeah, so that's how you can find me. I love talking to people, so message me. And my podcast is you can go on either the website, thecitybuzzpodcast.com, or our Instagram is at the City Buzz. So the City Buzz.
Awesome. And I'll make sure that there's, for those that are watching on YouTube or online, there'll be links in the description box. So make sure you look, check her out, follow her, support her. And anybody who's not subscribed already to me, please kindly subscribe to my channel. And if you're listening on the networks, continue to support us and support Felicia. Any last words of encouragement for those people that are on the fence?
Yeah, my last words of encouragement is just listen to the voice in your head. If you love something, go for it, whether that be music, acting, being a doctor, do anything that you love. Just go for it. Listen to your heart, listen to the voice in your head, and have fun. Have fun. That's do it with be happy. Happiness is very important. So yeah, they're my final words.
Always leave room for fun. I agree with that. Felicia, you've
Yeah.
been awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll get you back real soon, I hope.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I had such a nice time talking to you.
Likewise, my pleasure. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.